chapter 2. All right, so we're going to start the I.S.U.P.K, North Carolina scripture breakdown. All right, and we'll get into segregation. All right, how the Bible looks at segregation. All right, we look at some historical events that took place. All right, pertaining to segregation. All right, but before that, there's any questions online? Come on, bring it. Don't worry, quit out, I ain't forget you. Come on. Mm-hmm. Genesis chapter 26. 32 and what? Okay, so let's get it.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him.
No song.
It's breaking up.
No, not you. Not you. He will do it. Lord. You gonna now. All right.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
Right, so Jacob was left alone, right? So where you at right now? 32 on what?
24.
20. All right, yeah, continue.
So verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. Verse 26.
Right, so the sister question is basically how we know it's a what? It's an angel, right?
Mm-hmm. And then she had a second part too.
All right, so how we knew it was an angel? Okay, so it doesn't say, it doesn't make any inclination that this was a physical man, right? Being, when you read it, it doesn't say Jacob went into the tent with this brother, with this, you know what I mean, this person. All right? It says what? Read it one more time.
Which verse, sir?
The verse you was reading, the first verse.
24.
Uh-huh.
Sir. Verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
Right. Until the what?
The breaking of the day.
Until the breaking of the day. Right? Read on. I don't want to give it away. Read on.
Verse 25.
Uh-huh.
And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh.
He touched the what?
The hollow of his thigh.
Right. Right? So it's saying that what? So the visual it's given, right, is the fact that, you know what I mean, Jacob, he wrestling with this man. Let's say, you know what I mean, let's use what the scripture say, a man. So to say Jacob wrestling with this man, right? And the man just did what? Touched the what?
Hollow of his thigh.
Let's touch the hollow of his thigh. And what happened?
Salakia.
Come on, stick with me.
And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint.
Was what?
Was out of joint.
Was out of joint, meaning what?
Salakia, like dislocated.
Yes, out of place. You just think, you know what I mean, he fighting and he just touched that his thigh and it's out of place. All right, read on.
Sir. As he wrestled with him. Verse 26.
Right.
And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh.
Right, and this man's speaking to who? To Jacob, saying what?
Let me go.
Let me go. You understand? Read on.
For the day breaketh.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I will not let thee go.
I will what?
I will not let thee go.
I will not let thee go. Right? Read on.
Except thou bless me.
Right, that's how you know it's an angel he was talking. He was fighting.
Right.
You understand? So read it one more time.
Verse 26. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me.
Right, except thou what? Bless me.
Bless me.
You understand? That's the type of, you know what I mean? That's one of your that's your forefather Israel. Right? And Jacob's name was changed to what? I think lower down is going to tell you his name was changed to Israel if you read further down. Right? He fights with this angel to do what? To get a blessing from the Lord. You know what I mean? And the angel telling him, yo, it's about to be daybreak. Yo, Negro, let me go.
Right.
You understand?
Just like it, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And she also said, she said, is verse 34 and 35, is that an actual ladder or a metaphor? You know what I'm saying?
All right, so go on, read on.
34? It is no 30.
Let's read on.
Verse 27.
In chapter 26. In Genesis 26 and 34.
Yeah, but finish this one first. Finish this one first.
Sir. Mm-hmm. Verse 27. Mm-hmm. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. Verse 28. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel.
Right. But what?
But Israel.
Right. What does Israel mean?
You want me to answer?
Yeah, I said, anybody online, what does Israel mean? Israel in the Hebrew is what?
Prince of the power.
Right, Yashala, which means what?
Prince of the power.
All right, read on.
For as a prince has thou power with God and with men.
I mean, that brother fought to get that name out.
Mm-hmm.
Just like many of you in this school here. You know what I mean? You had to fight your family, you had to fight everything to come in and get that name and get that blessing the Lord have for you. You understand what I'm saying? Jacob fought this angel. Right? Read on. That was it? Finish it off. Mm-hmm.
With God and with men, and has prevailed. That's the end of verse 28.
Right, and has prevailed. Now go to where she's speaking about now, the next other part.
She's clarifying now. She said it's Genesis 28 and 12 that she's asking about. Is that the ladder?
All right, 28 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
Sir. Mm-hmm. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 12. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. Mm-hmm. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it.
Right. So the question the sister have is whether it's what? It's a real ladder or a metaphor, right? Right? It's a metaphor of how your prayers go up to the Lord. Just picture a ladder. You understand? And your prayers, read it one more time.
And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it.
Right? So the ladder, that ladder is not a physical ladder, but it's a metaphor to show you how your prayers actually go up to the Lord. You know what I mean? By doing what? Let's read one more time slow for me. So
sir. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 28 and verse 12. Mm-hmm. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it.
Right? Right? And it's just showing you, it's just a metaphor of how, you know what I mean, the interaction between the Lord and us with these angels. Right? It's not a physical ladder. Right? And it's a little more than, you know what I mean, than prayers. You understand? Is how they, you know what I mean, he's getting a vision. He's seeing how they interact with us on this earth. All right? When it comes to, I mean, when you say your prayers, it goes up. They hear everything, but they take it back to the Lord. And the Lord now is going to decide whether he's going to send him back down to execute whatever you know what I mean, whatever prayers you say to the Most High. All right? Come on. I think that she good on that part right there, right? Huh? All right? Okay. All right, so it's not a physical ladder. It's a metaphor to show you. All right? I think Padam had a question in Job, right? Right. So let's go to that. I think it's Job 39 and 9 or something around there. He's on there right now? Hey, Kodam, if you could, just type in the question again. I think it's what it is? It's Job. Anyway, yeah. Make sure you check your phone. All right. For questions. Testing. All right. You get it? 39 and 10?
Con out of one con, sir.
Read it for me.
This is the book of Job, chapter 39 and verse 10.
Start at verse 9, I believe.
Verse 9. Con out of one con, sir.
It makes any reference to unicorn?
Con, sir.
Okay, come on.
This is the book of Job, chapter 39 and verse 9. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee? Okay,
so that part, he wants to know what's a unicorn, right? Right? In the white man's, or I should say in our oppressor world, what does he claim a unicorn is?
Salaki, if I may. It's a horse with a horn coming out of the middle of his head.
Right? Have we ever seen a horse with a horn on his head?
La, sir.
Right? But we have seen certain animals with what? With one horn on his head, right? So basically, let's look it up. Check this on the Van Compact Bible Dictionary. All right? All right, pull it up and see if it have anything with unicorn. If not, I'll just give you it. All right, so read it one more time. Sadak, and tell them where you're at.
Con on one con. This is the book of Job, chapter 39 and verse 9. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib?
Right, so understand that, right? Now, Job trying to paint a picture for you here right now. All right, Job definitely trying to paint a picture for you, and he's using a unicorn to do it. Right? Much like when the Lord, or when Isaiah compared the ox and the ass to Israel. All right? So he's trying to make a comparison here right now. Hey, shalom, brother. All right? All right? So look up unicorn. You know what I mean? You all online, you all could type in. You know what I mean? Type in your answer. Type in what you think it is. All right? That was the scripture, right? Yeah, 39 and 9. Yeah, I think I remember it. I mean, I got you with Matthew 23. Do you want the whole chapter or just specific parts of it? And young man,
All right, I'm gonna call a young man. Normally, when brothers come in, we don't really refer to them by their name, right? So we just say young man. All right, do you have any questions? No, okay, no problem. All right, if you want to get it in 2 seconds, in 2 minutes, or a minute again, I'm going to give you it. All right. Or what you could do is just go up on Blue Letter Bible, right? Go up on Blue Letter Bible, hit the tools, and see where it says pertaining to a unicorn. All right. All right. Come on, with the big one. He has it right there. He opened it. Ain't no sweat. Come on.
This is the Zondervan.
Nah, you good. He has it.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary definition for unicorn. Fabulous animal, horned, strong, wild, difficult to catch, may be wild ox.
Right. So it's just a wild animal. Basically, they're linking it to with a what? With a horn. And it's saying unicorn because this animal has what? One horn. All right? So it's referring to a wild animal, right? And just think a wild animal in the wild, you trying to go do what? You trying to bring it home to do what? To see if you could what? Domesticate it, right? But you can't. That's what, go ahead, read what Job is asking again.
Kanan on Khan. This is the book of Job, chapter 39 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee?
Right, will the unicorn, you go take one of those, just take one of those mountain goats. You ever see one of those mountain goats with a unicorn that be jumping and hopping all over the place? I mean, wild as can be. He's saying, go take that and see if that is willing to serve you. You know what I mean? Or go take a wild beast. Go take a stallion that's just running wild. You know what I mean, in the plains, somewhere in North Dakota or whatever. Go take one of those horses and try and see if it's going to do what? Serve you. Try and see if you can just get up on it and just, you know what I mean, ride it. So Job is saying what? Read it one more time.
Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee or abide by thy crib?
Or abide by thy crib, meaning what? Stay by your crib. Right, read on.
Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band in the furrow?
F-U-R-R. Right? F-U what?
F-U-R-R-O-W.
A furrow.
Furrow.
Right? Just look up what it means by furrow. Right? But he's asking you, can you bind it? Can you hold it? Can you hold that creature down? Right? Just look it up in the regular, just Google it. Come on.
I have definition. This is the Google definition of furrow. A long, narrow trench made in the ground by plow.
Right. So meaning you encage it. Right? So read it one more time.
Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee or abide by thy crib? Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band in the furrow?
Mm-hmm.
Or will he harrow the valleys after thee?
Right. So he's just asking you if you could do it. It's much like with the question when it comes to with Leviathan, can thou tame Leviathan? Like he's asking you a question is almost like a rhetorical. No, you can't do it. You understand? It's the Lord. You understand? Like he's asking the question. Read it one more time, then we'll move on. Just yeah. Are you straight on it? So read it one more time.
This is the book of Job, chapter 39 and verse 9. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee or abide by thy crib.
So read verse 39 and 1, and then we'll come down with it. So you fully understand what Job really trying to get you to understand. Come on.
This is the book of Job, chapter 39 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Knoweth thou the time when the wild goats of the rock bring forth?
All right.
Or canst thou mark when the hinds
do clave?
Hinds do clave.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. Canst thou number the months that they fulfill? Or knoweth thou the time when they bringeth forth?
Right, so he asking you a ton of questions right here. Like he asking you questions only who could answer. Come on.
A priest and prophet of the Lord?
Yeah, but, okay. Come on.
A shepherd?
No. It's much simpler than that. He's asking you a question only who can answer. Come on. Yes, the Most High. That's basically what you're trying to get you to understand. Read on.
Sir. Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
They bow themselves. They bring forth their young ones. They cast out their sorrows.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4. Their young ones are in the good liking. They grow up with the corn. They go forth and return not unto them.
Right, and return not unto them. So he just running down. He using the unicorn and he using these wild goats as a comparison of how the Lord is. Like that's the Lord work. Like you try to, the so-called oppressor, he will look at a creature and he will do what? He will put cameras up in the wild just to do what? Try to study the animal behavior and think, he knows the animal. That's why with those, that's why it's so foolish to think you could have a lion in your circus and not expect it to bite somebody or kill somebody, maul somebody. It's so stupid. You understand? Like you trying to tame an animal that the Lord put as the king of the jungle. Are you stupid? Right? Come on.
Verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Who has sent out the wild ass free? Or who has loosed the bands of the wild ass?
Right, so you're asking a question again. Meaning, you see a wild ass, a wild donkey, right? Who set him free? Where he come from? You understand? The Lord. That's why if you go in the wild, right now the white man, he tries to, your oppressor, he tries to control the population of these wild horses, right? And what he does is he goes and gets some of them, and then have certain companies try to domesticate them so that they could sell them to certain ranches. You understand, right? Now, who has those horses in the wild there, just breeding and just growing?
The Most High.
The Most High. Read on.
Verse 6. Whose house have I made the wilderness, and the barren land his dwellings?
All right.
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
He scorneth the multitude of the city, neither regardeth he the crying of the driver. Verse 8.
So meaning he had no care whatsoever. He in the wild, basically. He has no care. Right? Read on.
Verse 7. No, Salakia. Verse 8. The range of the mountains is his pasture, and he searcheth after every green thing.
Right, so he eating whatever that mountain belongs to who? Him. That animal, that mountain goat, that wild beast. Right? Read on.
Verse 9. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee?
Will the unicorn be willing to serve you? Will that wild beast be willing to serve you? You understand? He's asking a question because he just painted a picture for you of a creature that is in love with the wild, basically. You can't even, you know what I mean, you can't fathom, you know what I mean, living in the wild, but that creature loves where it lives. You understand? And runs free. Right? Read on.
Or abide by thy crib.
Right? Or abide by that crib. No, you go take the animal, just like the lion. You go take the animal and you do what? You throw him in a cage. You understand? Read on.
Verse 10. Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band in the furrow?
Right? You chain him up and you put him, you encage him. Read on.
Or will he harrow the valleys after thee? Verse 11. Wilt thou trust him because his strength is great?
Right. So he asking, you going to trust him? You going to trust a wild beast? Oh, hell no. Right. Understand? So, Job is just, you know what I mean, running down a whole series of how to put it, like metaphors to try and show you, you know what I mean, there's no way you could really understand all these things. The Lord made these creatures like this, and that's that. You understand? And remember Job, what did Job say in the end? Remember Job, in the beginning, he did not accept his punishment. He did not accept it. He was full out what? Against what was going on with him. He couldn't understand. He couldn't fathom that he's doing all the Lord's statutes and commandments, doing everything that the Lord said to do. And the Lord came and did what? Kill his wife, kill his kids, take his livestock. You understand? But now he's running down basically I would say the characteristics of the Most High and what he's capable of doing. You understand? Right? So what did Job understand in the end? In the end of all of this that Job running down to, what did he understand?
Salakia. Would it be that the Most High has the power to do all?
Okay, that's summarizing it, but what did he realize about himself? Come on. Right. Yes, that was the Lord telling him, but what did Job recognize? What did Job recognize about himself? Come on. What did Job recognize about himself?
Salakia.
Come on.
Would it be that he believed in the Lord now?
Go to verse 42.
In the same chapter?
No, chapter 42.
Chapter 42. Khan. Start at number 1.
Right.
This is the.
Well, let's see. Yes. So everything you read about Job, right, up until this chapter, verse 42, right, is Job basically trying to trying to examine himself or examine what's going on. Why is he going through all of this? You understand? Why is he, you know what I mean, why it is his friends are allowed to live the way they're living and nothing happens to them. Meaning they don't have to do what the Lord said to do. Right. Nothing. You understand? And he's doing what the Lord said to do, but the Lord is full out, you know what I mean, coming at him. Right? And this verse summarizes what Job came up with. Read.
This is the book of Job, chapter 42 and verse 1. Then Job answered the Lord and said, verse 2, I know that thou canst do everything, and thou.
You understand? So who gave the mountain goat his strength?
The Most High.
The Most High. You understand? Who gave the mountain goat the mountains?
The Most High.
The Most High. Right? Read on.
And that no longer thought can be withheld from thee.
Meaning what? Meaning what?
Is it like the Lord knows what you're thinking before you think it?
Yeah, you can't withheld any thought from the Most High. Nothing. You think, you know what I mean, the Lord knows your heart. Yeah, he knows what the hell you're thinking. You know, you saying the pork, that pork is delicious. That shrimp is delicious. He knows what you're thinking. He knows what is in that mind. Come on.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Who is he that hideth counsel without knowledge?
Mm-hmm. Who is he that hideth what?
Counsel without knowledge.
All right. Read on. Meaning what?
Who is he that hideth?
Who does this? Who is he talking? Who is he talking about?
Would he be talking about that Christian pastor, sir?
Mm-mm. So who? Okay. Basically, Job is recognizing something right now. He's recognizing it. You know what I mean? Most, you know what I mean, when you come in here, before you come in here and just say, you know what I mean, you suffer, how to put it? You get yourself in some issues, some real bad issues, to the point where, you know what I mean, you could have lose your life. You know what I mean? In the world, you really don't understand how easy it is to lose your life. When you come in here, you understand how easy it is. You could lose your life if you don't obey the Lord. You understand? Job is recognizing something here. He's recognizing basically that, you know what I mean, the Lord, you know what I mean, as the brother was saying, stay in your place. The Lord wants you to, you know what I mean, basically do what he tells you to do and don't worry about anything else. I mean, you could examine yourself, but don't question the Lord on what he is doing. You understand? Come on. Read on.
Therefore have I uttered that I understood not.
You understand? He understood not. Because Job think he was what?
Like a know-it-all, like he knew it all.
He was wise. He thought he knew it. Until he had to say what? Read that start over that verse again.
Sir, verse 3. Who is he that hideth counsel without knowledge?
To give counsel, you need to have some what?
Knowledge.
Some knowledge. You need to have some knowledge. You can't be giving somebody counsel on something that you have no knowledge pertaining to. Right. You understand? You setting up whoever you're giving advice to, he fitting to be set up. You understand? That's why Job said, read on what and see what he said.
Therefore have I uttered that I understood not.
He understood what?
Understood not.
Not. Read on.
Things too wonderful for me, which I knew not.
You understand? Job got it. Your so-called oppressor, he ain't get it as yet. He's still trying to find out how deep the ocean is. How many light years out there in space he could make. You understand? He's still trying to create a human being without what? A man and woman having what? Sex. He's still trying to do that. He's trying to create life by putting two atoms and having to do what? Come together. Yeah, hit each other. Crash against each other. The Big Bang Theory, he's still trying to do that because that's how the earth starts. But he doesn't understand it because the Lord, he did it, and it's, you know what I mean, it's a waste of time trying to figure out, you know what I mean, how, you know what I mean, what hit this or what the Lord, what gas the Lord, whatever the Lord did to create the earth. You understand? It's too much. And Job is telling you right here, it's too much to sit down and think about, you know what I mean, the unicorn or Leviathan. It's too much to do that. But do this. Read on.
Sir. Verse 4. Hear, I beseech thee, and I will speak. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me.
You understand? So read it one more time.
Verse 4. Hear, I beseech thee.
So he's saying what? Here, I beseech. What does beseech means? Come on, young man. I beg. So now it ain't like, yo, what the hell going on, Lord? I do what you said, Salakia, sir. Could you help me with this, please? I wanna understand it. Read on.
Sir. I beseech thee, and I will speak. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me.
You understand? He will demand unto thee. What is he going to demand and declare? Read on.
Verse 5. I have heard of thee by the hearing of the ear.
What does that mean?
Salakia, sir, would that be like, would he be necessarily saying like word of mouth? Like he heard somebody speaking on him?
Meaning what? You had to explain it to me.
Like he heard the priest and the prophet speaking?
No. Come on, scholars. Come on, Lahab. Sisters, you come on. Kawaya. No, he ain't heard someone teaching is just think, okay, you in the truth right now, right? So you know the Lord does what? You know the Lord, he will punish you for what? For disobeying him, right?
Sir.
But there's a point in time in the truth whereas you literally, don't think about the destruction once you're all the way locked in. Right? You don't really think about the destruction. What happens? Just think this. Without the television, without the television or without the internet, if you're in this school, would you know the Lord? Will you hear of the Lord? By air?
Sir, because we in the school.
Maybe I'm not explaining that as good as I could to you. Okay. Let's take COVID-19 for example, right? COVID-19, all right? Where did COVID-19 come from?
The Lord let COVID-19 come.
Right, from the Lord, right? Now, without the television, right? Without the newspapers, without the internet, would we have known in the school what's going on out there? Not knowledge.
I would still say through word of mouth because
Okay, read it over one more time. I think I might be lost in here, but read it over one more time and I'm gonna give it to you.
Verse 5. I have heard of thee by the hearing of the ear.
By the hearing of the ear. Remember, Job. What? Okay. If you had to explain to a brother who Job was, how would you explain Job to a brother? Before the Lord allows Satan to take him. How would you describe Job? Come on, brother. He was a righteous man. So a righteous man as Job, right? What would happen to him? So describe how the Bible describes Job surrounding, how he was. Was he wealthy? Did he have lots of farm? He had a lot of livestock. So when you have a lot of livestock, when you have, these things going for you, what do people say? Pertaining to the Lord. Come on. The Lord what? The Lord blessed him. So all Job knew was what? The Lord's what? Blessings. You understand? So now, Job, if a brother die, you understand? From say, he got some disease, some rare disease and died. Job hear it. He is hearing what? What the Lord what? Yes, what the Lord did. So Job is saying by what? By air, I heard what the Lord what? Read one more time.
I have heard by thee, by
Take your time.
I have heard of thee by the hearing of the ear.
Meaning, when somebody come and tell Job, yo, hey, that man just lost his son, such and such just lost his son, Job is hearing what the Lord did. Remember, Job ain't going through that. Why? Because Job is doing what the Lord said to do. And Job know if he does what the Lord said to do, he's going to be what? Blessed. You understand? Come on. Right. But that's, I'm talking about Job before all of that. Before all of that, Job was wealthy. You understand? Job had sons, daughters. You understand? He was wealthy. So the only time he would hear of the Lord is when his friends come and tell him what happened to someone or what happened to them. You understand? Right? Don't go with the mic. Don't go with the mic. Right? So let's continue reading for him. In verse 5. Right? Read the second part of verse 5.
I have heard of thee by the hearing of the ear, but now mine eyes seeth thee.
You understand? So now he is saying what? He lost his what? Cattle. He lost his what? Wife, his kids. So Job is saying, now I'm seeing you, Lord. Now I'm seeing you. You understand? Right now we ain't seeing the Lord. We hearing what the Lord doing out there. We hearing of the Lord. But when you in the hospital or on the bed, sick and, you know what I mean, ailing, you are actually doing what? Seeing the Lord. You understand? And Job, this is what Job is trying to, you know what I mean, show us or trying to paint for us. He's trying to show you that he didn't know, he only heard of the Lord. He only heard the Lord, you know what I mean, destroy you when you know what I mean, when you did this. Or, you know what I mean, when I said this, meaning you eat pork, crab, shrimp, or lobster, Job will hear of you being what? Losing a limb. You understand? He will hear it. He actually able to do what? He's seeing it. Right? So read this next part now.
Verse 6. Wherefore I abhor myself.
Wherefore I what?
Abhor myself.
This is Job being what?
Slakia. Is he humbling himself, sir?
Yes, this is him humbling himself. Job is fully humbling himself right now because he understands that he is what? He's nothing. And he's saying, I what?
Wherefore I abhor myself.
What is Job saying? I what? I hate myself. Read on.
And repent in dust and ash.
And repent in dust and ash. Why? Because he realized he was wrong for doing what? What Job was wrong for doing?
Salakia, thinking he knew it all.
No. Was it a little bit worse than that? Yes. He was wrong for questioning why the Most High had him in the situation he's in. You in that situation, the Lord put you in that situation. Don't question the Lord. What you should do is examine what? Yourself. Examine yourself. And you're going to recognize, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? The Lord is all powerful and he's all merciful at the same time. Right? So you're good with that, right? Right, and read verse 7.
Verse 7. And it was so that after the Lord had spoken these words unto Job, the Lord said to Eliphaz, Eliphaz, the Temanite, my wrath is kindled against thee and against thy two friends, for ye have not spoken of me the things that is right, as my servant Job has.
You understand? So he did what? He went and dealt with Job's friends who wanna, was basically jonesing on him, was joking on him. You understand? The Lord don't play that. You know what I mean? Job, come on. You understand? And that's the type of brother, Job was. You understand? And the Lord gave him, as the brother said, the Lord gave him back everything and more that was taken from him. You understand? Like, you don't think you come into the truth and think that everything gonna run smooth. There gonna be some rough days. But you know what's the difference between you being here in the Christian church? You are your brothers and sisters here to help you. You understand? That's the main difference. You understand? And you may just have to go through it for some time. Just take it for some time. But I bet you after you take that for some time, the Lord has something waiting for you on the other end.
That's right.
We don't see it. We be quick to do what? To tuck tail and what? Run. You understand? Come on, brother. Who? Job, Daniel, and Noah. In the book of Acts. You get it from me. If you could pull it up, get it from me. All right. So let's go to Matthew 23. I believe this is the question, Matthew 23, 1-4. All right, when you get it, read it.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 1. Then spoke Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples. Verse 2, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
What does that mean?
Salakia. The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, like they're sitting in the seat of like they think they're Moses in a sense, and they're trying to lead people like Moses.
No, it ain't saying think. It's saying what? They sit in Moses' seat, meaning what? They are in a position of what?
Power,
authority. Right? They basically are black leaders right now. Or at that time, they were what? Your black leaders. Right? Just like today, your L. Sharpton, your T.D. Jakes, right? They are full out representatives of who? The Sadducees and what? Pharisees. Full out representatives. You understand? Come on, read on.
Verse 3.
Yes, Isaac power, right? Read on.
Verse 3. All therefore, whosoever thy bide you observe, that observe and do, but
right.
Do.
So what is it? What is this is written in red. So Christ is speaking to the multitude. He's telling them whatsoever they what?
What? Therefore, whatsoever thy bide you observe.
What they bid.
Salakia, bid. You observe that observe and do. But do not ye after their works.
But what?
But do not ye after their works.
We can't even say that today with T.D. Jakes and L. Sharpton and them. Don't observe anything they're observing or do anything they're doing. You understand? But Christ is basically telling them, you know what I mean, like the law, follow the law, statutes, and commandments. What them doing, anything outside of that, do not what?
Do not.
Do not do.
Okay.
Do not do. Right? Read on.
Do not ye, Salakia, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not.
Right? They say and what? They do not. Meaning they are what?
Hypocrites.
Yes, the Bible calls them what? Raise your hand next time, right? Like Ira. But the Bible does call them what? Hypocrites. Hypocrites do what? Say one thing and do what? Do the other. Say you ain't supposed to sleep with a man's wife, but behind closed doors, what the pastor doing? Sleeping with your woman. You know what I mean? Getting her pregnant and telling you stay with her and you both of you, that child is from the Lord. The hell with that. You understand? Read on.
Verse 4. For they bind heavy burdens.
For they what?
Bind heavy burdens.
For they bind heavy burdens. Just like your TD Jakes, just like your pastors. They bind heavy burdens on brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters who really in need of help, they tell them to what? Pray. You know, let's pray about it, sister. Or did you pay your tithes today? Did you double tithe? You understand? Things they're telling you to do things that they won't even do. You understand? Come on.
Sir. And grievous to be born.
And what?
And grievous to be born.
And grievous to be born. Right? Meaning what? It's what? It's going to what? Hurt you. Right? Read on.
And lay them on men's shoulders.
And what?
And lay them on men's shoulders.
Yes. You understand? They take your tithe money and then they're taking what? Extra money to take care of what? Of the G5 jets or the Rolls Royce. They lay a heavy burden on you. You understand? But they ain't doing that. Come
on. They sit there and they'll have like they need the pastor's fund and the suit fund for the pastor and things like that to sit there and take care of the pastor. And they put that on the congregation to pay for.
And they put it on the congregation. You understand? Like that's what's going on in a Christian church. Just think everything that's going on in a Christian church is what Christ is breaking up right here. Come
on. But they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers.
They're doing that. You can get to the Jakes to go live in the hood, or Creflo or Sharpton to go live in the hood. Well, hell no. They ain't doing that. They're going to live in a mansion. They're going to tell you, brother, you know what I mean? What, you know what I mean? If that's where your rent could put you, then you sit right here. You deal with that. You deal with that situation. I mean, I pray about it. They love to say pray about it. Right? Read on.
Verse 5. But all their works they do for to be seen for men of men.
Right. Tell Rod, when they start coming to class, come to class first and then ask that question. Right? Come on.
They make broad their physicalities and enlarge the borders of their garments.
Right. Enlarge what? Borders of their garments. And what? Just take your pastors. Come on, brother. understand? They enlarge the what? Read that part one more time.
They enlarge the borders of their garments.
Right, they enlarge the borders of their garments. You know what I mean? These pastors, they're about doing what? Dressing what? Fly. Driving the best cars out. You understand? They tell you to you know what I mean, you get on the bus. I mean, that money that you're gonna take to buy that new car, don't do it just say the Lord needs a plate. A G5 jet. Come on. Right. For tithe. Yes. When tithe, what does tithe mean? Tithe is just what? 1/10 of your earnings. If you are not working, then where's the tithe coming from? These pastors don't give a damn. These Sadducees and Pharisees don't give a damn where your money comes from. So you could just go, you know what I mean, sell drugs or whatever and bring that money in, they're going to take it. This for the Lord. I'm going to clean this money. This is that, the other. You understand? Come on.
Kind on one kind, sir. Verse 6.
I think that was it. I think she wants to
1 through 4.
Right? So I hope she clear on that. Come on. Psalms what? 51 verse 5 through 8. Psalms 51 verse 5 to 8. Come on.
Kind on one kind.
You can read it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 50.
51.
Chapter 51, verse 5. Behold, I was shapen in iniquities, and in sin did my mother conceive me.
Hold up now. What does that say? Come on, brother.
We are all sinners at that birth. We are born into sin.
Okay, that's why it says no in this class. You're gonna get the correct breakdown. That's what Christian church says. This is. All right. Anybody online want to take that test? Come on.
Salakia, sir, would this be like someone having a child when they were already married? Conceived in sin, like if I sit there and like have sex with another brother's wife and bear a child with that brother's wife.
Okay, that's part of it. That's part of it. That's one aspect of it too, with it. So read it over one more time.
Kana no kan. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 51 and verse 5. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity.
No, he said, behold, I was what? Shapen in iniquity. Now, favorite question for people who pull this scripture and want to say exactly what you said is, kind of baby sin? Kind of child in the womb sin? Or I should say, what is sin? Transgression of the law. So meaning what? Okay, so now since you say that, I would ask, how is a baby in the womb transgressing the law of the Most High? Come on.
Salakia, sir, it can't.
Why? Because sin is a what?
The transgression of the law.
Yes, but sin is a what?
Salakia is going against the law, statutes, and commandments.
If you're right, sin and okay. How do you love the Lord? What is love?
Is an action.
So what is sin?
An action?
Yes, it's an action. You understand? So tell me how give me a sin that a baby could do in the womb.
Right? So come on. So a baby cannot sin, right? But this is King David saying I was what? I was shapen in iniquity. Who could sin? Yes. The parent, his mother, his father. He was born amongst who? Sinners. Just like our mother and father. When we came out of that womb, our mother and father was full out eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. You were shapen in iniquity. Father was smoking weed, doing what? Doing God knows what? Cocaine, heroin, who knows? And you were born into that. But read on.
And in sin.
Yeah, Shabakwana, his parents. Right? And what?
And in sin did my mother conceive me.
Right? So it's just now reiterating the fact that his mother was a sinner. Not him. Not that child. You understand? Not that little baby. You understand? His mother. Right? Read on.
Verse 6. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden parts thou shalt make me to know wisdom.
All right. This part here, what verse you say you wanted from? 5 to 8. Giannis, I'm gonna get 6 to 8 for you. All right. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna break it all the way down for your next class. All right. Come on.
After that, brother said, "Why is it bad for me to smoke weed?" I'm trying to get the answer to this question.
Why is it bad for you to smoke weed? Okay, you want to answer the question with the Bible, without the Bible? I'm going to do it without the Bible first. Your brothers and sisters are dying, being shot, being killed over drug wars. I need to tell you more. How many of your brothers you lost through drugs? You understand? And furthermore, the Lord said what? Don't what? Don't smoke weed. All right? And we're going to get it. Go to Proverbs, right? Tell me, Proverbs what? So go to Proverbs 16 and 27. What's your brother's name? Kenny. Right, Kenny Velez. All right? It's wrong to smoke weed because the Most High, I'm going to show you now in the Bible, but the Lord say you ain't supposed to be smoking weed. Plenty of our brothers have been locked up, have been shot, killed, murdered over weed. I don't have to tell you more. It's like asking me, it's like asking, should I go pop, hose? You gonna pop some hose? Hell no, they got AIDS out there. You need the Bible to tell you ain't supposed to be popping hose? You need the Bible to tell you that you ain't supposed to be a homosexual. Go on the AIDS ward. All right, go by the pharmacy and just observe who is coming for the AIDS medicine. You understand? You need the Bible to tell you it. All right? Well, I'm going to show you in the Bible. If you believe in the Bible, I go in the Bible right now and show you what the Lord say. It's wrong to smoke weed. Read.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, and verse 27.
Uh-huh.
An ungodly man.
A what?
An ungodly man.
What type of man?
An ungodly man.
What does it mean to be ungodly? What does it mean to be ungodly? Anybody online? Anybody online? Come on. What does it mean to be ungodly? What's your brother's name? Kenny. Mr. Kenny. What does it mean to be ungodly? unclean, transgression of the law, unrighteous. It's plain and simple. That's a wicked man. I mean, he's ungodly. I mean, he does what? Nothing the Lord say to do. And what do God do with ungodly man? Right? Read.
An ungodly man diggeth up evil.
An ungodly man what?
Diggeth up evil.
Diggeth up evil. Read on.
And in his lips there is as a burning fire.
Where you got to go get a weed? You got to go what? Dig it up. Right? You got to go dig it up, roll it up, and then put it to your mouth and do what? And in his lips is what?
Is as a burning fire.
Is as a burning what? Fire. The Lord don't want you smoking weed, brother. Don't be a drug addict. I mean, you know what I mean? This is what kills me. Brothers who smoking weed think they're better than brothers who smoking cigarette. Both of you all filling your lungs up with what? Both of you all killing yourself basically. Doing everything the Lord say not to do. You understand? Your so-called oppressor come and tell you, you know what I mean, the weed is for is a herb and it could, you know what I mean, help you do this. I mean, don't be a drug addict. Come on. Right, I know. He put the poison berries too. Let's go eat it. Let's go eat some berries, some poison berries too. Don't stop being a fool, man. Come on, Iraq. Come on. Read it. You can read it. Come on, go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Yes, learn not the way of the heathen. All right? Hold that. Hold on, I've one in the book of in Kings. Yeah. Yeah, Ezekiel 8 and 17. Right? And then we will go to Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 3 and 16. I believe somebody quoted it. Right? Yes, Kawa, your oppressor makes money off of we, tons of money. You know what I mean? Right now, you know what I mean? You know how much brothers got locked up for weed? For getting caught smoking weed, for getting caught selling weed and doing ton of time. Now your oppressor, he has a farm. He's able to have a farm. He's able to sell weed like any other drug. You understand? But we getting killed over it. We doing time over it. And the Lord trying to show you this to stop. Stop doing it. I mean, you think, you know what I mean, you ain't gonna be the next, what's it, Scarface. You think you better than, you more smart than Scarface. No Negro, your end gonna be the same. Right? Read where you at, Ezekiel what? Tell them where you at.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 17.
Chapter 8 and verse 17.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 8 and verse 17.
Then
he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man?
Read on.
Is it a light thing?
Is it a what?
A light thing.
Meaning, is it, you know what I mean, is it something to be looked over? Is weed smoking something to be looked over? Should we not worry about, you know what I mean, brothers, you know what I mean, smoking weed, doing drugs, right? Should we not worry about it? Is it light? Read on.
Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abomination?
That they what?
Commit the abomination.
It's saying here, it's a what? Abomination. Meaning it's disgusting to the Lord. is nigh unto you eating your vomit. Right? Read.
Which thy commit here, for they have filled the land with violence.
Well, they have filled the land with violence. Read on.
And have returned to provoke me to anger.
Read on.
And lo, they put the branch to their nose.
They put the what?
The branch to their nose.
It's not a lie thing, Kennedy. Kenny. My bad. Kenny. It's not light. It's abomination unto the Lord. Smoking weed is abomination unto the Lord. And you know where you get that all, where we got that all from? Guess where all this weed smoking came from? As your brother brought out with the with Jeremiah 10 and 2. It's a what? Read 10 and 2 for him.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
That's an hedonistic custom. Heathens do these things. Which heathen is famous for weed smoking? They worship the weed. That's where the Rastas and them got it from. Those Rastafarians, they got the whole, the entire belief system, the whole smoking weed system from these people. Come on. No. Come on. Right, so who are those people? Who are those heathens? Come on. Those are East Indians. East Indians. Yeah, that way all this smoking weed. Go look it up. I could have the brother pull up a video here right now and show you of an East Indian woman breaking down the whole smoking weed, the whole growing the hair. You understand? And that's a religion or a belief that comes from East Indian. And it's from the god, when they smoke the weed, is really to get close to Shiva. The goddess Shiva. You understand? And they have a whole religion on that. And our people looked at that, you know what I mean, and just did what? Twisted around. Just like with Christianity. Christianity, they say what? Everything comes from where? The Bible. But Christianity has been what? Twisted around into be and you now thinking that you actually following the Most High when you go into a Christian church. When you're not. Same thing they did with the Rastafarians. They didn't want to worship Shiva because Shiva is a what? East Indian god. And East Indians, they're extremely racist. You understand? Like to be a Hindu, like now they may have integrated other people or other nations into becoming Hindus. But when I was growing up, to be a Hindu, you had to be born an East Indian. They go by strictly that bloodline. You had to be born an East Indian to become a Hindu. You understand? And now these, we took up their whole belief of smoking weed and getting close to some god. You understand? Like, it's wrong for us to do it. Come on. Did brother have anything else to say on it? Ask him if you understand. And go to 1 Corinthians for me. 1 Corinthians 3 and 16. Come on.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?
Know ye not that what? All right.
That ye are the temple of God.
That ye are the temple of what? Of God. Your body doesn't belong to you, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Your body belongs to the Lord. The Lord tells you what he wants in it. He gave you the what? The dietary law. He told you what to put inside of you. He told you what not to put inside of you. You understand? And smoking cigarettes or smoking weed is one thing the Lord hated. with a passion. You understand? He hates it. Even with the down to the COVID-19, they were saying that brothers and sisters who smoke weed are more susceptible to succumbing to the COVID-19. You understand? Like the Lord knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? He make your body. He knows exactly, he know what to tell it to put in it, what not to put in it. Just obey him. But when you want to look for a reason to be a drug addict, he is going to give you a reason not to be a drug addict. And before you know it, you'll be sitting in a prison.
Come on, read on.
And that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you.
Leader on whether, you know what I mean, on the right way you should use that product if you have to use it. You understand? But
Definitely not by smoking it. Come on. You just need some counseling, and you using drugs as an excuse, because there are ways you could get and why you can't smoke it. That's something totally different. You understand? And what you should do is to get counsel from your camp leader to ensure that you are not trying to be a drug addict. You understand? Being a drug addict is a sin. You understand? And the Lord is going to deal with you on it if you want to be a drug addict. You understand? You come in here, get all the help you need. We got people here, you know what I mean? Commander YAHANNA has set up a system where you can get counseling. You know what I mean? You just have to open your mouth. Put the pride aside. All right? Good. All right? Put the pride aside. You know what I mean? And come all the way in, man. You know what I mean? Get your counseling. You know what I mean? The so-called oppressor, he has psychologists for when, you know what I mean, when his kids go run amok in the schools and do a mass shooting, he has psychologists to come talk to these kids that have seen these events. You understand? Well, in here, we know black people's lives have been, you know what I mean, how to put it? What's the best way to put how to put how our lives have been? It's been rough. It's been hard. You understand? We've seen things kids ain't supposed to be seeing. We've seen things. You know what I mean? We need counseling. We need all the counseling you can get. Well, in the right place. You know what I mean? You go to church and think the pastor going to give you, you know what I mean, the proper counseling when it comes to your life and this Bible. Think again. You know what I mean? Eddie Long had the chance to build strong men, and instead, what did Eddie Long do with those boys? He molested them. He took advantage of them. The priest, the Catholic priest, has all the resources in the world to help kids. You understand? To help people, but instead they choose it to do what? To molest kids. You understand? But in here, you're going to come in here and you're going to get the proper counseling necessary and needed for you. Right? Any more questions? Okay. Uh-huh. All right. Tell her, Rod, this class is about everything. Just ask questions. Ask the right questions, though. You understand? If you want to be a Christian, ain't nobody stopping you from being a Christian. You go be a Christian. Be a Christian for all of us in here. You know what I mean? Go shout hallelujah, whatever. And be a good Christian. But in here, you're either going to shut your mouth or you're going to ask the questions. All right? All right. No, it's going to be about everything. It's about the Bible. All right? No more questions, right? So I can get into my topic quick. All right? So the topic I wanted to touch on was on certain events that took place, right? With how many have heard of Plessy versus Ferguson? Right? What you heard about Plessy versus Ferguson, young man? It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Because, you know what I mean, because we've been around this beast for so long and been fighting, you know what I mean, for some type of civil rights, some type of rights. When you're born with every right that he has, he don't beg nobody for rights. He don't beg nobody to do what? To love him. He don't. You know what I mean? You don't love him, you hate him. He does what? He go what? He go bomb an area. And then you start doing what? You love him. You understand? But Plessy versus Ferguson is about what? It's, come on, Iraq. Yes. Separate but what? Separate but equal. Right here. So you can read it for me when they get a chance. You can look it up right. You can just scroll up right there and you can look at it. You know what I mean? So let's read a little bit. That's a summary of what Plessy versus Ferguson was. Go on.
Plessy versus Ferguson, written by Brian.
No, let's read Plessy versus Ferguson, the legal case.
Plessy versus Ferguson, legal case in which the U.S. Supreme Court on May 18, 1896.
1896, May 8, 1896, right? And when was slavery abolished? When was slavery abolished? Uh-huh. Is what? Uh-huh. July what? July 31st, 18 what? 1865. And now we're in 18 what? 96. But slavery was abolished, right? So you see what happens. Like, they tell you slavery was abolished, but yet and still you had to do what? You had to fight for some type of civil rights. All right? Now, let's read on a little bit here now. Come on, read.
By a 7-to-1 majority,
Uh-huh.
one justice did not participate.
Uh-huh.
Advanced the controversial, quote-unquote, separate but equal
Uh-huh.
doctrine for assessing the constitutionality of racial segregation law.
Right, of racial segregation laws. Like, is segregation wrong? Hold on, young man. Is segregation wrong? Segregation? Uh-huh. There shouldn't be no segregation. Right? What does the Bible has to say about segregation? Anybody online? Is segregation wrong? Because in the Christian church, they teach us that what? We should what? What Plessy is doing, we should do what? We should fight. We should fight to do what? To have what? Equal rights. All right? It seems like fighting for equal rights is what? Is right. Movement. What was the civil rights movement about? What's the civil rights movement about? You're right, Telera. We are not to join. Correct. What's the civil rights movement about? Right? Come on.
Civil rights movement was about being testing. The civil rights movement was about trying to be one with white people and be accepted by them.
Okay, no. What was to be equal? Equality. Okay, give me a little more. Give me a little more. Right? You are being broad when you say equal. I wanted to explain it a little, a little more for me. Come on.
Brother said Deuteronomy 7:6 is what the Bible says about segregation.
Right. That's being specific to the point of interracial marriage. Right? But the civil rights movement was actually supposed to be about us getting equal pay to our oppressor. Right. So if I was a bricklayer, right, and with our oppressor, and he's making $15 an hour, what I was trying to get, what? $15 an hour. But what did they do? Martin Luther King did what? He hijacked the movement and did what? Turn it into what? Into us integrating. Into us now leaving our stores and now going where? Into what? Into the oppressor store. So now we're in 2020 and you can hardly see black-owned stores. And that's because of Martin Luther King. He decided to do what? Integrate us. Integration is, how to put it, is taking us backwards, basically. Come on. Come on. What does it say?
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 17. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate.
And be ye what?
And be ye separate.
And be ye separate. The Lord wants us separate from our oppressor. Segregation is right. We should be separate. Black people should have their own. Because now you've seen it plain and simple that these so-called white cops coming into your community and full out doing what? Oppressing you. Killing you. You understand? We should have our own. Right? But when you have situations like these taking place, you think it's right to go what? What are you actually doing here? What is actually going on here with the Plessy versus Ferguson? So we know this is about what? This is about a man on one of those on a train, right? He's supposed to there are special seats. So after slavery, there was segregation to a point whereas black people had certain seats on buses, on train. Now, he didn't want to sit down where they say he was supposed to sit down. He wants to sit down in the what? In the white section, right? So let's read on a little bit and see.
Plessy versus Ferguson was the first major inquiry into the meaning of the 14th Amendment, 1868, Equal Protection Clause.
Right, equal protection clause. And this is what blacks and Hispanics don't understand. This Bible, right? Who is this Bible for? Come on. Right. But so-called what? The so-called oppressor, the Arabs, the Africans did what? Took it and do what? Cleaved onto it like if it was their what? Their own. When it was not their own. This has to do with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's right. Right? If you have time, I'll run it all the way down from the front to the back. I'll show you that it only deals with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Not everybody. Right? Come on, Iraq. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes, yes, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? If you have any question, you can raise your hand. All right? Okay, welcome. Now, we're going through this, right? Read a little more. So they say the 14th Amendment, which says what? Equal, but what? Right? That is 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment says what? You are free until you do a what? A crime, basically. You're going to get locked up. Right? The 14th Amendment has to do with equality. Right? And what black people don't understand is this. When all of these things were taking place, where were we? When the white man when the oppressor wrote his constitution, where were we? Come on. We're still in slavery. So when it's saying equal opportunity, it's speaking about the poor white man and the what? The rich white man. Right. But somewhere in there, we try to what? Push ourselves in. So in other words, when you try to do that, what you actually doing? When you march, what you actually doing? You actually begging. Does the Lord want you to beg? I mean, prove it to me. Uh-huh. Yes. So go to Ecclesiasticus. Start at Ecclesiasticus 40 and give me start at verse 25. All right. For those of you, right, who are new to the class, right? The Bible, right? The King James Bible, it does not have the Apocrypha in it. What you want is the 1611. The 1611 have this book right in the middle of it. All right? This book was taken out. All right? So now we're going to where? Ecclesiasticus 40 and what? Verse 25. So the Sidak, once you get that, you can start reading it.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus.
Thus.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 40, verse 25. Gold and silver make the foot stand sure.
All right? Let the give that to the pastor, to the sister. Brother, you have one? Okay. Look, pass this to the brother too. All right. Welcome. All right. So what is it saying? Gold and what?
Gold and silver.
Take your time. We're going to get it.
Gold and silver. Make the foot stand sure.
Make the foot stand sure. Meaning what? You got money. You what? No. Make your foot stand sure. Meaning what? Yes, you're stable. Meaning you could pay your bills. You know what I mean? You're able to move around. You understand? Without any issues or any problems. Without thinking, man, if I don't go to work today, I'm going to lose my job. Right. You understand? Read on.
But counsel is esteemed above them both.
Meaning, you could go win the lotto. If you don't have the right counsel, you're going to be broke tomorrow. If you don't have the right people around you, you're going to be broke tomorrow. You understand? That's why I say counsel is better than what? Silver. What did Solomon ask for? Come on. Wisdom. The Lord say if you have anything that you ask for, what would you ask for? And Solomon said, I will ask for what? Wisdom. He wanted wisdom above what? Money, above what? Power. Right? And the Lord blessed him with wisdom. Read on.
Verse 26, riches and strength lift up the heart.
Uh-huh.
But
Right. Riches and what? Strength lift up the heart. Because you ain't got nothing to worry about if you have what? Money. You got some strength, you know what I mean? You have nothing to worry about. You wake up, you know what I mean, in your bed, you don't have to worry about doing what? Working a 9 to 5 or working 12 to 12, working a 12-hour shift. You ain't got to worry about that. So it's saying that what? There's some strength in that. Read on.
but the fear of the Lord is above them both.
The fear of the Lord. What's the fear of the Lord? Fear of the Lord is what? The beginning of what? Wisdom. And what's that wisdom? Wisdom of doing what? Of obeying everything in this Bible.
That's right.
Everything. You understand? Everything the Lord wants you to obey in His Bible. Right? Read on.
There is no want in the fear of the Lord.
There is no what?
There is no want in the fear of the Lord.
You know, you want to know why we begging, we marching? Because we don't fear the Lord. If we fear the Lord, we would not be protesting out. We would not be marching. Guess what we will be doing? We'll be writing here, learning what the Lord said to do, and building, taking care of each other. Read on.
And it needed not to seek help.
Read on.
Verse 27.
Uh-huh.
The fear of the Lord is a fruitful garden.
It's a fruitful garden. So just think of fruitful garden. So any fruit you like. The fear of the Lord is like that. Read.
And covered him above all glory.
All right, read on.
Verse 28.
Uh-huh.
My son.
My what?
My son.
My son. Mm-hmm.
Lead not a beggar's life.
Lead not a what?
A beggar's life.
No justice, no peace.
A beggar's life.
Hands up, don't shoot.
A beggar's life.
Don't lead a
Verse 29. The life of him that depended on another man's table
Uh-huh.
is not to be counted for a life.
Is not to be counted for a life. You want to know why the so-called oppressor treats us the way he treats us? Read it one more time.
The life of him that depended on another man's table
Because we're depending on him to give us justice. We're depending on him to feed us. We're depending on him for everything. So our life means nothing to him. Why in the hell that don't happen to the Chinese? Why in the hell it don't happen to the Arabs? They ain't marching in the streets. The Chinese are communists. And they have a Chinatown in almost every major city in America. The Arabs at war with America in the Middle East. Yet and still, they have shops. They're able to open up food shops in our neighborhood, in our ghettos. Read on.
is not to be counted for a life.
Is not to be counted for our life. Come on. Yes, everything. Let's name it. That's why he did what he did by saying with 3/5 of a man. Right? how did America become free? How did America become America? Come on. Did the British give them freedom? What happened? They went to war with Britain. Right? And it was over. They were feeling as if they were what? As if they were what? Oppressed. You want me to show you that? Pull up the Declaration of Independence. Pull up the Declaration of Independence for me. We go. Come on. So Maya, take it for him. Take it for him, right? Pull up the Declaration of Independence for him, and I want you to read it. You could use this computer right here so they can see it on the TV. All right? You're going to see. All right? Now, Iraq, get Deuteronomy 6, I think it's 7 and 6 or 6 and 7. All right? All right, let's get it. Come on.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
For thou art an holy people.
So this is Moses speaking to who? The children of who? Israel. And it's saying what? This is a what?
An holy people.
A holy people. What does holy means? When you go look up the definition of holy, it means separate. Like the Lord saying that we are separate people. Read on.
Unto the Lord thy God.
Unto the Lord thy God. Ain't no other nation nigh unto the Lord like Israel, like blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Is it a coincidence we run the fastest? There's no coincidence. Is it a coincidence that we're the strongest? We're the poorest and we dress the flyest. There ain't no coincidence. The Bible, Christ says that we are the salt of the earth. You could go across to the Middle East right now, and they're trying to wrap with a cap twist backwards. You know why? Because we're the salt of the earth. Because you are God's chosen people. They're trying to look like you. Why do the oppressor go and spend time in a tanning room? She don't like her skin? Come on. Come on, Iraq, go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
To be a what?
A special people.
A special people. Read on.
Unto himself.
Unto himself. You understand? That there clearly shows that what? We are segregated from all these other nations. The Lord segregated us from them. Like he don't want us joining with them. You understand? And he even laid down the marriage laws for us. Give me that in Deuteronomy 7 and 3. You can carry it for him. All right? Give me that in Deuteronomy 7 and 3.
Chapter 7, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Neither shalt thou make
Marriages
with them.
The Lord don't want us to make what? Marriages with them. The Lord is against interracial marriage. He's against it. The Lord made the white man, the white woman for who? The white man. He made the black Hispanic woman for the black and Hispanic and Native Indian man. Right. It's plain. He made the African woman for the African man. The Arab woman for the Arab man. That's the Lord. You, Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are not supposed to go and have any sort of marriages with these people. That's right. None. Read on. It's going to explain to you why.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Shall not what?
Give unto his son.
Read on.
Nor his daughter.
Uh-huh.
Shalt thou take unto thy son.
unto thy son. You understand? Meaning, a black man ain't supposed to go get a white woman or or African woman. A sister ain't supposed to go get a white man, African woman. It ain't supposed to be like that. La, meaning no. Read on.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
They will do what?
Turn away thy son from following me.
Because when you go marry a so-called white woman, now your heart or your mind is with her people. You understand? So now police brutality, you're going to look for excuse to say, well, he shouldn't have done he should have just do what the police officers say to do. We've been doing what they say to do and they're still killing us. You understand? You go get a white woman, you go in and do what? You go in and be a Christian. Because in your mind, integration is the way to life. When that's the white man's philosophy or the oppressor philosophy. And he doesn't believe in that that integration. The so-called oppressor, he does not believe in integration. You understand? Like we think when we watch CNN or all these newscasts and they're pushing this integration and it thinks it's all good. But when you really go do the statistics on a larger scale, white people prefer to be with white people, black people prefer to be with black people. Look at the churches. If God died, if Christ died for everybody and integration is such a lovely thing, why we have black churches and what? White Christian church. They should all be what? Together. Right? If they believe in integration, right? Which shows you that's not how it is. Right? Now, read a little bit of this for me.
The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another.
What does that say? It become what? Necessary. You understand? Like this is your so-called Americans forming here right now. And this letter is written against who? England. And it says become necessary to what?
So like it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them.
that is weak in the sight of God. And that's weak in the sight of man also too. You understand? Just think I have a car, a nice car, and you begging me to do what? To put you in my car and take you down the road. That's weak. Why not get your own car? Why not build your own car, build your own economy up? Because of Martin Luther King. And your Plessy and your Brown versus the board education. Now look at the state of us. Where the black schools? Where the black schools are right now? You got all the best football players are what? Black. All the best basketball players are what? Black. Why is there in the black schools? Why? Because of Brown versus the board education. So now your black schools doing what? Going down, and your oppressor school and white school going what? Up. Making millions of dollars for black people. Your UCLA's, give me some white schools, your Duke, your what? Alabama, making a ton of money off of young black boys. The same black boys, if the cops saw them in the car, they will do what? Shoot them.
That's right.
So let me see a license number. Bow, bow, bow. Dead. You understand? Like, read a little bit again. And coming back to see if you could pull up Brown. It's another
Another one?
Yeah. Go to Word. Go right here. We just read a little bit of that and then because I think we up on the time. What's the time now?
Yeah, 8:34. Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's something right in this one right here. One of these.
Must be this one.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's just scroll up. All right. Like we need to understand these things pertaining to the Bible and what the Lord wants. Not what El Sharpton or T.D. Jakes want you to do. They say T.D. Jakes' daughter just bought a mansion in Calabas, in which part is in California. With who money?
Right.
And black people starving. Right? And then they want to tell us, your black leaders want to tell you what? That we lacking what? We lacking school. We ain't lacking schools. What we lacking? Anybody want to give it a shot? What we lacking as black people?
It's like it, sir.
Come on.
Leadership.
That too, but the Bible is explaining well what black people lacking, what we are lacking. Come on.
Brotherhood.
Yes. Give me Isaiah 1 and 3. Give me Isaiah 1 and 3. All right?
Okay.
Come on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner.
What?
The ox knoweth his owner.
So this is Isaiah here saying what? The ox knoweth his owner. If you know the animal, this the ox. An ox, if you leave an ox, if the owner take the ox and put him a mile away or a few miles away from the home, that ox is going to find its way back home. Because that ox knows the owner's smell.
Right.
And knows that he ain't supposed to be across there, he's supposed to be home. Right? Read on.
And the ass, his master's crib.
And the ass, a donkey. You do the donkey the same thing too? That donkey coming right back home. Right? So it's saying ass and an ox. Those are the two what? Those are the two most what? If somebody call you an ass, what are they trying to tell you? Somebody say, you know what I mean, you behaving like an ass. Asshole. What are they trying to tell you? You're stupid. You're dumb.
Right.
If somebody tell you you're smart as an ox, what are they trying to tell you? you're dumb. So Isaiah is likening us to two of the dumbest animals. And saying what? That those two animals know what?
His owner and the ass his master's crib.
So these two animals, even though we will say they're the most dumbest animal on the planet, they know who the master is. They know who the owner is. Read.
But Israel.
But what?
But Israel.
But Israel what?
Does not know.
But Israel does not know. Read verse 2 for me.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 2. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me.
Right? Have rebelled against me. Isaiah is trying to show us here. We rebel against the Lord by doing what? By doing what he said not to do. You understand? When we do what he says not to do, this becomes of us. We now have to do what? Go out and beg the white man to sit in his school? Why we can't build our own schools? Yeah, our school were broken down. Hell, get an umbrella. Put an umbrella, open an umbrella out and have classes. Stay separate. You understand? Like, we have to know, we don't, I don't think, as a people, we don't understand the sacrifices we will have to make. Like the so-called, your so-called oppressor, he teaches his kids of the sacrifice. That's why that President's Day, his President's Day, his Independence Day, his 4th of July, you know what I mean? His holidays are so important to him. Why? Because it teaches his kids some type of integrity, some moral lesson to them. You understand? They teach, like with what's his name? Washington. Washington, the story on Washington is that he crossed some bridge and he burnt it, or he broke it, destroyed it, so that the men that was with him won't be thinking about doing what? Turning back.
Right.
The stories of them being hungry, starving for some days, and fighting the English. And now look at America. Sacrifice they had to make. And now you want to beg them for what they have? No, let's have our own. We're going to start somewhere. You understand? And that's why we say our oppressor is the devil. The Bible speaks of. Why? Because we did try it a couple of times. How many of you ever heard about the story of Wilmington? Or Tulsa, Oklahoma? Tulsa, Oklahoma was what? Was Black Wall Street.
Right.
Right? There were other Black Wall Street. Wilmington was another place where it had a ton of black people, a ton of wealth there. And you know what the white man did? Guess what he did? Brought the guns out, brought the fire out, and started killing black people and ran them out of Wilmington. You understand? That's another story we're going to get into at another date. The history on Wilmington and what occurred, what took place. You understand?
Right.
And when you check Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wilmington, Nat Turner, what's the Black Panthers.
Right.
All of them. What they lacked? What did they lack? Come on, Iraq.
Righteous leadership.
Yes. They lack this.
Come.
This here tells you exactly how the fight is supposed to be. Nat Turner tried to do to what? He tried a physical rebellion. Does the Lord require physical rebellion?
Laws.
Doesn't require physical rebellion. It requires to do what? Do what he says to do. What does Romans 12 and 19 say? I'm going to end with Romans 12 and 19. Romans 12 and 19.
Come.
All right? If you all have any questions, you all could ask it now before I end the class. Come on.
The book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves.
Because we had the right to do it right now. We have cause to do it. But the Bible is saying what?
Avenge not yourselves.
Read on.
But rather give place unto wrath.
But rather give place unto what?
To wrath.
Unto wrath. You understand? The Christian church talks about hugs and kisses. But when you actually read the Bible, it ain't talking about hugs and kisses.
Right.
You understand? Read on.
For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord.
You understand? The Lord going to put your oppressor in the dirt. White man, African, Chinese, all of them. The Lord is going to send Christ back to get justice and to seek vengeance for what he did to us.
That's right.
As a people. You understand? And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Iraq.
Say, cut it, sir.
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the word. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in Hebrew, and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teaching. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation.
September the 17th.
Memorial blowing of the trumpet, September 17th.
Right. And these you can find in Leviticus, yes, 23.
All right, all Akim and Akwakim, check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, I'm Magi.
Which means stand.
Wapanyakodum.
Right hand face the east. Because in the Bible it says when we pray to the east. Alright?
In the Hebrew, Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanah, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakbaka, Taba'ah, Watazayka, Hayah, I.S.U.P.K, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Latana, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalata now, Kabawat now, Kasalata now, Kabawatia now, Wala'ah, Tabia'aya now, Banasaya one, Abal, Hawashaya now, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, Rawalamya, Aman.
In English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not. Into temptation. But deliver us. From evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
Saw, which means to turn. Sisters, be seated. Shut. Amadi. Saw, turn. Salat. Men of Israel, gird thyselves. Salak yourself. Amadi Shabbat. Amadi. Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Brakatah. Saw. All right, saw. Sister.
We're going to face the sister now. What we're going to do, we're going to salute the sister. All right?
Men of Israel. Amadi Shabbat. Amadi. Barak. Yahweh.
Just repeat after him. Or repeat after me. Yahweh. Shema. Al. Atha. Ba'ashem Yahushai. Ba'ashem Yahushai. And we're going to repeat. Go ahead.
Yahweh Shema Atha Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right? Yad Matah. Dismiss.
This one.
That's it. All right. This is what to do, right? Before you get on that, just give the brother and the sister. You have the prayers and you have the what we just said.
Yeah, come on.
So don't worry about
so
it.
they have it, right?
Just what's the name? Angela? Where's that for the class? Oh, Ira. Yeah. Okay. Good. Alright, so the brother who's going to bring the prayers and stuff to go, and it's going to be the Hebrew and it's going to be English. Alright? And if you have any questions next time you come, bring your Bible, bring your pen, paper, bring all the questions. And here we're going to show my answer your questions. Alright?
You just hear on Mondays?
Yeah, Mondays. Yeah. You get it?
I believe the brother, I gave you the packet, right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so you have a pocket.
I'm not sure. I think I gave you one too, sis. You came the last time with your son, right? I think we had gave you one. No? I might have to give it to your son. That was your son you gave.
Yeah, that was my son.
I think we gave him one.